Good morning, traders. Welcome to Beyond Profile. Today is Friday, and it is June 10th. The markets yesterday tried to have a little bit of a relief rally, if you will. You can look at the hologram here, I should say the histogram, on this developing profile for the month of June. Take a look at what we have as far as a high volume node. We have this 8650, and then of course the one back up here, this 1309, still existing up there. What's interesting is yesterday off the lows we gapped open and then ran it right into the high volume area, sold off late in the afternoon, and we pushed right back. You'll notice a couple divots here as we auction back and forth between the 79 area and the 86 area. We also have this divot up in here, which would be the 90s. This day here was a pretty good sell-off day because we had opened here, we went and put in that big tail, and then closed right back, actually lower than where we opened. So there was a lot of selling that occurred on that day, continuation here. And now we could say that we have our stage 2 and stage 3 development here on the market. So the question becomes is, does this turn into a V pivot reversal where we go right straight back up? Do we hang down here in our stage 3 to give us our continuation move lower? We still haven't filled our gap technically on an opening open session basis. That's still sitting open here. The new number is actually now what, 69.25. Remember, you're on the September contract. We rolled over yesterday, and so the new number, remember, it was 74.25 earlier in the week. We have it now at 69.25 contract adjusted for the month of September. So be aware of that. Make sure you're flipped over to September's today. So that technical gap fill still has not been filled. This morning we're trading slightly 78, 79 here, which is right against this high volume area right here on this one. So we're opening within yesterday's range. No real major push lower here in the overnight. As a matter of fact, right now looks like they may want to try to hook this thing back up. We've got actually a higher low pivot forming on the higher minute time frame. Let me grab the 30-minute chart here. We'll take a look at that. Here's the 30-minute chart, and you can see the lows from the last couple days. Here's yesterday's move, inside of the prior day's value, broke out of the point of control from the prior days and then ran strong right back into supply. Strong reversal into the end of the day, right back down to the prior day's point of control. And now, like I said, 78's right here. We're trying to hold with a higher low pivot. Dealt with some of this supply, it looks like, already this morning in pre-market session. So if we could run a little bit further here. Now to the upside, for the week we have 78s to 90s as the value area, big point of control at 86. So we're trying to hold inside a value for the week, if nothing else. And that's where we're going to get into play, that this will form that stage 3 here on the daily time frame. We'll start to auction back and forth, it looks like. And again, unless we get some sort of a strong V pivot reversal out of here, which means we go right directly straight back up. And then you have to ask yourself, what's going to get us to that point? What news event? Maybe unless they announce they're going to do QE3, then I could see something like that occurring. The euro has been under pressure after Trichet's comments yesterday. Was straight down, as a matter of fact, and it's been holding down at the lows. Oil was higher yesterday, and China, there's some news out from China. I know Schwab was one of them. They stopped margin on investing in many Chinese stocks, so they stopped the margin on those. There's some concerns in China right now. If you go look at some of the Chinese stocks, some of them, familiar that if you trade here in the U.S., like Sina, even Baidu, some of those names that you might recognize, they've been under pressure the last couple days, a lot more so than our technology stocks, if you will, if you just look at those few. So be aware of what's going on, all right? And again, we've got our stage 3 in development. The question becomes is how large is this development? Does it do a V pivot all the way back to it, or do we form this right here? And at that point, what we will get extension back to the downside, back down to 1250 area, which again would put us all the way back down to this level here. For the most part, this head and shoulders pattern is playing out. We mentioned this last week. A lot of people were looking for this to play out. I'm not so much a head and shoulders pattern, other than I'm just looking at it from other people's perspectives. But if you look at, you had your one shoulder here, here, because remember, these do fail, and then when they do fail, they fail miserably. And here's one here, and of course then obviously there's your head right here. So if you look at the extension of that, that puts us really down into this territory here for completion. So far everybody thinks they're right. and they're on the winning side, if you will, as this moves back up. So if it were to fail, it would have to get up back inside of this range here, 1308s, and make another new high. But the last pivot low we have down here is this level right here. And I believe if you look at the daily, also cash market, I think, well, the old number was 1250. Let me just see what that new number is with the cash adjusted, or I should say the new number is, yeah, 12, whoops, go to the daily chart here real quick. Daily chart would say, well, 1252 still, so it's right in that area in the cash market. So down in this area is the 200-day moving average for the markets. We have those prior pivot lows, and it's the bottom of the unfair low territory, like we also talked about, that being a possibility for it to auction back down through that range and then be in a larger balanced trading area through the summertime months. Folks, have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the room. And remember, keep your powder dry. It's Friday.